There's a good look at Armando Galarraga, the starter for Venezuela, as we take a look at the starting lineup for Davy Johnson and Team USA. Jimmy Rollins at top of the order there at shortstop. Dustin Pedroia at second. Chipper Jones getting the start at third. Kevin Youkilis at first. David Wright switches places with Chipper Jones. He's the DH. Adam Dunn in right. Mark DeRosa gets the start out in left. Chris Iannetta, the catcher from the Rockies. And then Curtis Granderson is out in center field, batting in the ninth spot. This is the defense for Venezuela, playing behind Armando Galarraga. Pretty much the same lineup that Venezuela will be running out there throughout the course of the World Baseball Classic. Matthew Ordonez in left. Gregor Blanco gets a start at center. Abreu in right. Melvin Mora at third base. Marcos Scudero, the Blue Jay, at short. Jose Lopez at second. Miguel Cabrera over at first. And doing the catching is Ramon Hernandez. As we pointed out, Joe, that Armando Galarraga had a great rookie year with the Detroit Tigers, and he's a sinker baller. He's not going to overpower you, but he's a guy that usually around the plate.
Well, you go back to last year, the Tigers struggled, but he did not, going 13-7 with a very respectable 3.73 earned run average. He likes to pound the strike zone down, expand the strike zone vertically from about waist high and down to below the knees with most of his pitches. Really a young pitcher with a real good idea.
Both of these teams, of course, 1 win, 0 defeats. As Jimmy Rollins, switch hitter, takes fastball outside. That's how we start this ball game off. Jimmy did get into the game yesterday against Canada as a pinch runner for Derek Jeter. Ended up going 1 for 2. Galarraga quickly has fallen behind at 2 balls and no strikes.
One of the challenges of Davy Johnson, the manager from Team USA, is the positions where he is kind of redundant, like at third base with Chipper Jones and David Wright, and at shortstop with Jimmy Rollins and Derek Jeter. Just too many great players at the same position.
2-1 is down low, 3 balls and a strike, and without question, this is a pro-Venezuelan crowd, at least when you start gauging the introductions that players were introduced. That one lined over the head of Scudero. And Rollins going to try for second. And he's in there easily. So Team USA, as we talked about the offense, gets it started. Leadoff man for the Phillies is a leadoff man here with a double.
Now, kind of revisiting when you're talking about the defensive setup, Victor, Team USA a huge advantage defensively. Not a lot of range in the outfield for Team Venezuela. It is fast into the gaps, and we've talked about the fast track here at the Rogers Center. And Jimmy Rollins taking advantage with his speed.
We were surprised last night that Luis Sojo rode Carlos Silva as the starter and then followed up with 4 strong innings by Felix Hernandez. As Pedroia is showing bunt here. Picked off a tempered second. They got it. Strong throw from Ramon Hernandez. Jimmy Rollins doesn't like the call from Marvin Hudson, the second base umpire, but just a little bit too far off the base.
Well, he, like the infielders, talking about Jimmy Rollins. Now watch him edge off of the secondary lead. He sees Pedroia square. And that is the one problem when a guy bunts through a pitch, is it can leave a runner hung out to dry, especially in a sacrifice situation. But he was just trying the push bunt. And when he bunted through it, Jimmy Rollins got himself caught going the wrong direction.
Trying to do the old swim move to the back part of the bag, but Scudero, nice job of getting there and applying the tag, and Marvin Hudson rings up Rollins.
And if Pedroia gets that ball down, it's not like Jimmy Rollins needs to have a huge lead at second base. He can just trot into third. So a base running mistake.
Pedroia swings through the 2-1 pitch.
Well, that's a surprising thing, and we were talking about it right off the top. Normally these hitters, takes them a while to find their timing, find their stroke. And Youkilis, Dunn, hit some real good pitches out of the ballpark.
There's that sinker. Pedroia goes down swinging. There's out number 2.
Talking about the sinker of Galarraga, here's a good look at it from tight center. You can see with the two-seam grip, it just keeps on sinking out of the strike zone.
As we look at our monitor, just to finish that point about Luis Sojo as to why he used Felix Hernandez. Carlos Silva had gone 9 days without pitching. That's why he got the start. And Sojo was told apparently by the Seattle Mariners that yesterday was Felix Hernandez's day to throw, and that's why he came into the game, which is odd considering you're a pitcher. You've had the spring training action. You'd think, all right, I know that today's my day to throw. I could probably go tomorrow, and you'd help your ball club.
Yeah, let Felix Hernandez start and let Carlos Silva go the next day. What's another day? 9 or 10 at that point. Well, Chipper Jones was not happy with his approach yesterday. He said, I'll pick you up, guys. I'll hit a home run today.
Going with the call. Chipper 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts yesterday against Canada.
He was really getting befuddled by the pitches on the outside part of the plate, and Galarraga has that good sinker going away with an off-speed pitch to go with it.
Breaking ball, foul tip. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, he as a pitcher and as a hitter, you'll tell yourself the rest of your career, keep that front shoulder in there. That's something that Chipper Jones is trying to correct. He wasn't doing it yesterday.
Got him looking. 4th strikeout in 2 games for Chipper Jones. Timing not quite there, and he got him with that fastball on the outside corner. Middle of the 1st, no score. No score as we head to the bottom of the 1st inning, and here's a look at the starting lineup for Luis Sojo and Team Venezuela. Gregor Blanco in the leadoff spot at center, Melvin Moore at third, Bobby Abreu in right, Miguel Cabrera at first base, Magli Ordonez in left, Carlos Guillen in the DH, Jose Lopez at second, Ramon Hernandez doing the catching, and Marco Scudero. Got a terrific round of applause when he was introduced here. Remember the Toronto Blue Jays. Here's Blanco, who got in the game yesterday late against Italy.
Not much of a need, Victor, for scouting reports. These two teams very aware of one another. From playing against each other in Major League Baseball. Roy Oswalt, with outstanding leg action, can generate some velocity for a pitcher his size.
Right past Blanco for strike 2. Oswalt, of course, of the Houston Astros. Fantastic year last year again, 17-10 with a 3.54 ERA. Blanco gets jammed here.
It's like the Cy Young Award winner Tim Lincecum. They're both really not that tall, but they're very wiry, and they have those fast muscles that create that great hip and torso action to really kind of wind the spring, if you will, and create that whip-like velocity. Oswalt maintains that velocity throughout the year. I remember the first time I saw him in Sydney in the year 2000 in the Olympics, just amazed at how he could create velocity.
It's a good way to get a pitcher hurt there.
And he's quick enough to stop when he starts.
By definition, a drop and drive guy.
Pretty much really drives off that back leg. Shorter arms and legs, easier to time.
Blanco lays off the breaking pitch.
We saw some highlights of his first outing with the Astros in spring training, and he was already throwing 94, 95 miles an hour. So he's ready to go.
As was Jake Peavy yesterday. His velocity was up there, just did not have the control that he had in the 2nd inning, then the 3rd inning. But giddy up was there.
Yeah, it sure was, and I thought it was interesting that being a Cy Young Award winner in the year 2000, Jake Peavy said to J.J. Putz before he went out to the bullpen, if you're coming into the game, make sure you take a deep breath, because pitching in this type of format is unlike anything you've ever experienced.
JJ certainly experienced it yesterday in the ninth inning, closing out the 6-5 victory. The defense for Team USA, Mark DeRosa of the Cleveland Indians out at left, Curtis Granderson of the Tigers in center, Adam Dunn of the Nationals at right, Chipper Jones at third, Jimmy Rollins at short, Pedroia over at second base, Kevin Youkilis, Gold Glove winner, over at first, and Chris Iannetta of the Colorado Rockies doing the catching for Oswalt. Mora swinging first pitch. Bouncer over to Rollins, 2 outs.
You know, looking at the starting pitcher, Roy Oswalt, 17-10, as you mentioned, Victor. Last year with the Astros and a 3.54. Leads the MLB with 129 wins since his debut in the year 2001. Dynamic pitcher.
Set a franchise record for the Astros last year with 32 1/3 scoreless from late August to mid-September. 200+ innings with 30+ starts for the 6th time last year. So durable.
That shows you how he's able to really absorb the stresses of throwing, the way he uses his legs.
Bray takes a strike, and it's 1-1. John to left for a base hit. He was 2 for 3 in last night's game against Italy with a couple of runs batted in, and gets a 2-out knock here for Miguel Cabrera.
Well, he seems to always get into the at-bat. Look at the drop and drive leg action, and for Oswalt being a little under 6 foot, a long stride. That typical Bobby Abreu at-bat.
Looked like he was wincing a little bit as he was jogging up the first base line last night. He took a fastball right in the middle of the right thigh, and maybe showing the after effects of that as Cabrera takes a strike.
Well, maybe he won't be able to get far enough off the base to get picked off like he did at third base last night.
The unconventional double play. Mark DeFelice backing up at third base, got picked off as he's walking back to third base. At the end of the 4th inning, Cabrera rolls one foul. Check the bat on that one, because Oswalt certainly came inside. It's no balls, 2 strikes.
Taking a look at that pickoff from last night's game against Team Italy, and you referenced it. DeFelice backing up and sneaking right in there. Not a good feeling for Bobby Abreu.
That ended the bottom of the 4th, and at that point it was still a scoreless tie. And that was the last we saw of Mark DeFelice, which unfortunately for Marco Mazzieri, the manager of Italy, was not a good thing.
Things went south very quickly after that, going into his bullpen, and ironically with a few guys with a significant amount of big league time in Lenny DiNardo and Jason Grilli.
Cabrera 0 for 4 last night against Italy. Fouls one back.
We're talking about the timing and how a lot of hitters really don't acquire it at this point, and it really looked like Cabrera's timing was off. You don't see him hitting what I would call outside his feet very often, where he is well out in front. When you're patient, your timing is right, you're staying back, you're waiting, and then you're quick to the ball. And in doing so, you recognize pitches better, and as a result, you're swinging on better balance. This guy has some kind of swing.
He struggled the last time the World Baseball Classic was played in 2006. So did Bobby Abreu. Abreu hits 211 there, and he gets a fastball blown right by him. So Oswalt returns a favor. He picks up a strikeout. We've played 1 in Toronto and no score. Take a look at the umpires. Danny Sagna behind the plate. Carlos Ray over at first. Marvin Hudson, whom we saw behind the plate yesterday. He's at second, and Minoru, Nakamura is over at third base. Kevin Youkilis leads things off against Armando Galarraga. He'll be followed by David Wright and then Adam Dunn. Youkilis, if you were with us in the open, saw the home run the opposite way. 1 for 2 with that home run.
Well, as he does on every pitch, has those hands split very high up on the bat. He wants to really take away any tension before he really starts getting himself into the loaded position. See the fingers with just barely holding on to the bat, and then he slides those hands together to where he just immediately is just ready to spring. Oftentimes hitters are grinding sawdust too early, and it slows their hands down.
You can run that right up to the shoulders and the back of the upper back area as well, as far as being loose and
you're absolutely right.
Free. Missed inside. It's a full count.
Golfers have like a waggle to really reduce tension before they hit their shot. You'll see the same thing out of hitters as well.
Breaking ball rolled to Moore at third. First out. Galarraga last year second among American League pitchers batting average against. Limited them to a .226 average. Led rookies with 13 wins on 126 strikeouts. Was tied for fourth in the Rookie of the Year. Not bad for a guy that, quote unquote, came out of nowhere. This one toward the hole and short. Nice play by Scudero. Not enough arm to get right. So lead off single, or pardon me, a one-out single.
I think he kind of three-fingered it over there. His idea was right about one hopping it from the hole, knowing he doesn't have the strongest of arms. But it looked like he didn't have the proper grip on the ball. He spiked it way too soon. May have been well back in his hand.
Dunn takes a fastball for a strike.
I want to finish that point, Victor. I think it's a great indication when you look at the success that Galarraga has had for most starters, unless you're really a blazer that ride the fastball upstairs, to have a sinker ball in their arsenal. And I think for a starting pitcher, there's nothing that cleans up pitch counts or makes them more economical than having a sinker that you can attack the strike zone with early in the count and get ground ball outs without having to be 2-2 and 3-2 on every hitter.
Dunn has fallen behind at 0-2.
Davey Johnson, over the course of his managing career, when he has had a lot of success, has had more of the Earl Weaver philosophy of waiting for that 3-run home run. There's a lot of popping in this lineup, so I don't think he wants to risk having his base runners run into outs, give away outs, and take away scoring opportunities.
Dunn takes a called strike 3. There's the second out. Third strikeout already for Galarraga.
Two of them looking, one of them swinging on the sinker. This is a little backdoor slider. For Adam Dunn, that's a real hittable pitch. High slider that just kind of rolls in there, but he was looking for the express.
DeRosa had a fantastic year with the Chicago Cubs last year. Was traded this past offseason to Cleveland. He will be their starting third baseman, and that's not where you want to take one.
Well, that is going to leave a mark. And that didn't even tail into him. That one had his number right out of the hand of Galarraga. But Mark DeRosa, a nice guy, turned the other cheek.
Great guy, the New Jersey native. And here's Chris Iannetta, the catcher for the Colorado Rockies. Tried to hold up, but he couldn't. Iannetta really came on last year. Took hold of that starting catcher position for the Rockies. 264, 18 home runs, 65 driven home, and built like a house. That one missed outside, apparently. It's 1-1.
Yeah, we've talked about how the catching position has been down the last handful of years, and starting to see some good young catchers emerge. And that's the kind of pitch that when a catcher is up there hitting, he tends to get the benefit of the doubt on.
Two balls and a strike. You got to love that as a pitcher, don't you?
Well, no, not very much. But that umpire really likes that catcher to really protect him and prevent him from getting hurt. And those real good glove men tend to get those close pitches when they're hitting.
Last thing you want is an accidental cross-up that goes right into the chest protector of an umpire. Breaking ball nubbed right back to Galarraga. In a relatively easy inning, Galarraga has thrown 29 pitches in his first 2 innings. Middle of the second, no score. If you were with us yesterday for the 2 games played here at the Rogers Center, you realize with the dome closed, this is a hitter-friendly ballpark. 328 down the lines, 375 to the power alleys, and straight away to center field. It is 400 feet or 121.9 meters. You can round up to 122.
Well, now I know.
Ordonez, Guillen, Lopez against Roy Oswalt. Aguilar gets jammed here. Granderson's got a beat on this one. There's the first down.
USA!
I believe he's rooting for Team USA, and see that
security.
Those are fighting words right there.
Yeah.
And then he dropped it.
Don't mess with Uncle Sam's hat.
Are you kidding me? Completely unacceptable.
This is a partisan crowd.
Carlos Guillen, the DH, is up. He takes an off-speed pitch for a strike. Guillen 1 for 4 with that opposite field home run last night against Italy. It's nice to see too that a lot of these players have brought their families on this trip to experience the World Baseball Classic. We had a chance to run into Carlos and his wife, kids, entourage last night.
Yeah, they seem to be having a good time, and they're in a good mood, especially after his home run last night. Off Jason Grilli. Sinker going down and away, and he looked locked in.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Guillen, who last year with the Tigers at 286, 10 home runs and 54 driven home.
He moved over and played a little first base. He's been kind of slowed by knee injuries the last few years.
He's always been capable, though, of swinging the bat. This one right to Pedroia. 2-1.
I mentioned that Jake Peavy gave J.J. Putz a little advice about how to deal with the nerves and anxiety that obviously he felt when he started the game yesterday against Team Canada. Roy Oswalt has the international experience, pitching in the Olympics in the year 2000 that Team USA won a gold medal with, managed by the great ambassador Tommy Lasorda.
How about Tommy? He was here last night. We walked by him after the game last night. We were in the food room eating and watching the Dominican Republic beat up on Panama. Tommy's in San Juan.
Guy gets around and so passionate about seeing baseball games. He was wearing the same clothes.
I guess that's when you're the ambassador, you get carte blanche. And I bet there's a lot of direct flights from Toronto to San Juan.
Right. And no rest for Tommy, who's making the rounds and of course putting smiles on faces.
Lopez inside outfield foul, and count remains at 0-2. I imagine we'll see him tomorrow in Mexico City.
He is getting around.
Yeah, he's a smart man, though, because by the time he gets to Mexico City, assuming he does, the Pool A in the Far East will already be done. He doesn't have to make that trek out there.
And as we mentioned, it's apparent he's traveling light.
Another 0-2 fastball, apparently missed outside.
The strike zone of Dan Iasong is one that skews a little bit towards hitters. There's hitters umpires, there's pitchers umpires. Pitchers umpire will invariably bring that one up.
Toward the hole and short, and at the hurry as Jimmy Rollins throws on time. A 1-2-3 inning. Nice job by Roy Oswalt. We've played 2 in Toronto. The hat still looks good. No score. All different sizes and shapes here at the Rogers Center. No score as we head to the top of the 3rd inning. Told you. 9-1-2 due up for USA. Granderson, Rollins, and Pedroia. Galarraga has thrown 30 pitches now. 3 strikeouts, no walks for the young right-hander. Off the end of the bat, right to Moore. 1 out. Galarraga originally signed with the Montreal Expos organization, stayed there until the then Washington Nationals traded him, Brad Wilkerson, and Termel Sledge to the Texas Rangers for Alfonso Soriano. And then last year, before spring training, the Rangers, who traditionally need starting pitching, needed a 40-man roster spot because they wanted to sign Jason Jennings. So they worked out a deal with the Detroit Tigers and sent Galarraga to the Tigers for a minor league outfielder by the name of Michael Hernandez, whom was subsequently released. Jason Jennings got hurt, had elbow problems, had surgery. Galarraga, all he did was have that great year in Detroit.
It's amazing sometimes a pitcher or the player really will fall out of favor with an organization and get with maybe a pitching coach that just really speaks his language and speaks to him. Because watching him pitch last year, he really pitched like a veteran, looked like he had a plan.
Up to center field, Blanco tracking it down for the 2nd out. And the thing is too, really, that he came up to the big leagues at the end of '07 with Texas and showed some ability. I mean, it wasn't anything lights out. He wasn't, like you said, he's not going to light up the radar gun. He showed pitchability, and you would have thought at that point that, all right, you'd say, all right, I'll take my chances with this guy. Rangers with Kevin Millwood and Vicente Padilla, and nobody really filling out the back end of the rotation. Why not give the kid a chance? You know what? He was given the opportunity with the Tigers. Certainly took the bull by the horns.
Good late life in the strike zone down, throwing a lot of ground balls, and You have that sinker ball that usually is pretty consistent from start to start.
Let me ask you something. For a guy like this, is not overpowering, relies on the movement of his sinker, moving it in and out. How much does it help this young man to gain the confidence as he did throughout the year, picking up victories, seeing that he can get major league hitters out?
Well, it's absolutely huge, and I think his confidence is lifted by knowing he doesn't have to be perfect.
This one over to third. Moore with the bare hand. Not necessary, but certainly effective. Galarraga 1-2-3 inning himself. He's at 31 pitches. Middle of the third and no score. Hey folks, keep up with all the latest World Baseball Classic news and stats and visit the official online shop of the World Baseball Classic at worldbaseballclassic.com. Here you'll find the largest selection of authentic World Baseball Classic items for all 16 countries, including clubhouse gear, t-shirts, jerseys, and more right from the source, worldbaseballclassic.com. Bottom of the third, no score. Roy Oswalt with a strikeout, no walks. It is he that has thrown now 32 pitches. Armando Galarraga has thrown actually 39 for his 3 innings.
Oswalt doesn't quite have the sharpness on his breaking ball, but he does have that craftiness that he has, and his ability to ride the fastball. Not craftiness, that really implies someone who's not really throwing the ball that hard. I'd say more competitiveness. He's throwing his pitches with very good conviction.
He's one of those guys, as Youthful will take this one for the first out, that he's not afraid to throw that little blooper pitch. He'll throw you a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. All of a sudden, here comes a 65-mile-an-hour curveball.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's tough for pitchers that can really rush it up there, is to take a lot of speed off the ball. He has that great leg action, and sometimes will just really drag the backside to really slow his hips down, where he can just kind of thumb it up there.
Ninth place hitter Marco Scudero at the plate. Scudero last year with the Toronto Blue Jays, 267 with 7 home runs and 60 driven home. And a guy that year in, year out plays down in the winter leagues in Venezuela and is at the top batting title, and there's a single to center field. Second hit of the game for Venezuela. First coming off the bat of Abreu.
Well, I don't know if the gun had a little mistake there. It registered at 98, and Scudero just drove it right into center field. Definitely not pole conscious, just staying inside the ball. And a real good pass through the hitting zone.
So a man on, 1 out at the top of the order, and Gregor Blanco. Blanco for a single to left. Multiple runners on for the first time for Venezuela. 1 out, brings up Melvin Mora.
Well, remember yesterday, Victor, it's like Team Venezuela just came alive at the plate and started stringing at bats together. Bottom part of the order turning over. Now the leadoff hitter doing basically the same thing that Scudero did from the right side of the plate.
These two teams have met in international play before. Venezuela losing to the United States back in 2000, Pan American Cup. And winning the last 2 times. Moore takes a strike. Last night against Italy, hooking one down the left field line for a home run. Solo shot. One of 3 runs batted in for Melvin.
Oswalt's given up 2 singles on fastballs, and already he's tried to just throttle Mora by getting the first pitch breaking ball over. See if he wants to throw another off-speed pitch.
Mora looping one to center field, a base hit. Coming around to score is Marco Scudero. Venezuela leads it 1-0.
thinking he was going to come back with another off-speed pitch, but it was a fastball. 3 hits on fastballs here in this inning. It's hard to fault the guy who throws in the mid-90s with his heater, but it's been more about location of the fastball in this inning, where 3 hitters have had good swings on it.
All 3 very clean, hard hit singles. Now you've got the middle of the order, Bobby Abreu up. Abreu had a single to left in the first.
Well, you're pitching. This is a guy you do not want to see come to the plate in a situation like this, because you know you're not going to be able to take him out in a couple of pitches. You're going to have to get into the at-bat. He's going to be very patient.
Moved down to shallow left center. Anderson puts it away for the second out. Looked like he took just enough off that pitch.
Just enough to get him to roll those wrists over.
Here's Miguel Cabrera, who's 0 for 1. He and Magler Ordonez, the 4th and 5th place hitters for Venezuela, 0 for 9 in the first 2 games thus far.
I mentioned that going into last night and into this first at bat that he had where he struck out, his timing has looked, you know, kind of really in between, a bit off. Out front of the breaking ball.
No, we touched on it yesterday as far as solid to great opposite field hitters. Really, when Miguel Cabrera is on, he's taking that pitch right there out to right center field.
Because he's more patient, he's staying back, he's recognizing the pitch sooner as opposed to getting a little jumpy.
This should be the 3rd out as Pedroia plays it on the second hop of Venezuela strikes first. They get a run on 3 straight hits. Melvin Moore, his 4th run batted in. We've played 3. It's 1-0 Venezuela. Chipper Jones fouling off the first pitch here in the bottom. Checked at the top of the 4th inning. 1-0 Venezuela. This place rocking when Venezuela put the run on the board in the bottom of the 3rd. 3, 4, and 5 due up for Team USA. Chipper chasing that off-speed pitch finds himself in the hole quickly at 0-2.
Well, that's a pitch that was giving him trouble yesterday, where he found himself just kind of lunging and flailing on the outside corner. Really wasn't happy where his mechanics were, to where, you know, he said to his teammates, "Ah, shucks, guys, sorry, I'm going to have to hit a home run, but not this time."
Nice play by Ramon Hernandez. Good throw to first, and Chipper Jones chasing the breaking ball. Has now struck out 5 times. He's 0 for 2 today.
And for a guy who hit 364 last year, he is not looking real comfortable at the plate. You just don't see him chasing pitches well out of the zone like he has to this point. Missed that one by about a foot.
Chipper's struggles continue. Is that one of those where Reggie Smith, the hitting coach for Team USA, might chat with him a little bit?
Well, maybe just given the book Ted Williams, The Science of Hitting. The first basic, you got to get a good ball to hit.
Reggie Smith we saw there. There's Reggie.
He had some pop from both sides of the plate. Great years with the Dodgers, the Cardinals, the Giants.
I like this coaching staff that Davey Johnson's put together. Barry Larkin is the bench coach. More than likely a Hall of Famer to be.
Right. And a current Hall of Famer coaching 3rd. Speaking of pop, Michael Jack Schmidt.
And Billy Rickett over at first base.
There's Schmitty.
Looks good. Both those guys.
Yeah.
Nicholas takes a strike. It's a full count. There's Lark.
Deep in thought. Zen-like focus. Look at him.
Looks like he's working on a migraine.
Yeah. Bench coaches, they can't miss a pitch. They have to be locked in, seeing everything, the positioning of the whole field. Watching both teams. It's Marcel Latchman, who's been working with the pitchers. A lot of experience on this staff.
There's a little looper out to right center. That's going to fall for a base hit. Kevin Youkilis. A one-out knock.
Talked about some of the hitters that are struggling, some of them who've been swinging the bat very well, and about getting a good pitch to hit. That's something Youkilis is very adept at. Really controls the strike zone so well. I think that was a cross-up. Ramon Hernandez looked to be crossed up. That ball didn't get to him.
If you're going to get crossed up, that's the way to get crossed up, on the off-speed pitch, as opposed to the other way around. More times than not, things like that occur. Yeah, because there's nobody at second base. They're not running through a set of signs or anything. Somebody vapor locks, right? It's either the pitcher or the catcher that just forgets.
I got to think it's the catcher more often than not, because
as a former pitcher.
Yeah, because the pitchers are one of the smarter guys on the field, and they don't call those the tools of ignorance for nothing.
Oh man, 2 balls and no strikes on David Wright.
Sometimes a catcher is game planning, thinking a couple of pitches ahead, and he'll put a signal down and forget what sign he put down. And of course, it's a helpless feeling when you're thinking you're getting ready to catch a hook, and here comes the heater.
David Wright gets jammed a little bit. Blanco is there. 2 outs. So with Youkilis at first, down 1-0, brings up Adam Dunn. Signed this offseason by the Washington Nationals to a 2-year contract. Dunn line to the right. There's a base hit. Youkilis is heading over to third base, and he will be in there with a slide. Team USA looking to get even here against Armando Galarraga in the 4th.
Going back to yesterday, and we're talking about how Adam Dunn had one of the better swings, going and getting a good sinker on the outside corner, drive it over the left center field fence, and he gets a breaking ball on the inner half of the plate and rifles it into right. He's looking pretty spot on here in the early going.
Fans down in the seats trying to get the USA chant going, drowned out by the boos of the Venezuelans. DeRosa was hit by a pitch in his first plate appearance. Takes a strike. Into the alley in right center field. That's down for a base hit past Blanco. Youkilis already in. Here comes Adam Dunn. DeRosa in at third base. A triple for Mark DeRosa. Team USA is up 2-1.
Victor, we talked about how well the ball carries here at the Rogers Center, even on line drives, to the point to where Blanco takes a bad route. Watch Alex DeRosa swing down on that and get good carry. He has more of an in and over route as opposed to circling back trying to cut it off from going into the gap. And once it got by him, the merry-go-round started. And that's also a nice way to answer after being hit in your previous at-bat. That's making it hurt in the other direction.
DeRosa had 87 runs batted in for the Cubs last year. Picks up 2 big ones here in the fourth.
Well, the Indians are really going to appreciate his presence in that lineup. Play multiple positions, very poised at the plate.
A brief visit to the mound. 2 runs in. It's 2-1 USA. We're still in the fourth. 2 outs. A good look at the pitch totals for Armando Galarraga. Victor Zambrano is up and loosening for Venezuela. Iannetta takes outside. There's Zambrano. Iannetta 0 for 1. Little bouncer right back to Galarraga in the second. Two and one now. All of a sudden, it's gotten very quiet here at the Rogers Center.
You know, I was noticing, Victor, that Team Venezuela had a, they travel very well, had a great following on both sides, the third base side and the first base side of the stands, and a little air out of the balloon right now.
They were even up in one of the party suites before batting practice. That's inside. 3-1. Granderson on deck. Inside. There's ball 4. First walk of the ball game. Granderson will step up with 2 on, 2 out. There's the CN Tower just outside the Rogers Center. You ever been up there?
It's pretty cool. It is really cool. It's great to look at from that view. I would think it'd be a little more harrowing to be inside that ascending cable car.
So you've never been inside the arch in St. Louis?
Never once.
Serious. Longtime Cardinal such as yourself.
It's great to look at.
Sacrilege.
Yep.
Granderson a ground ball to third, his first time up. Galarraga really slowing things down here.
We see this happen a lot when pitchers get a little touched up as they start getting over careful and over cautious. Maybe lose a little some of that aggressiveness and really try to pitch away from the bat.
24 pitches thrown by Galarraga here in the fourth. 63 total. So he's almost at that total where he's got to be pulled from a game. Lopez has got it. There's out number 3. But it doesn't matter. Armando Galarraga's evening has come to an end. Mark DeRosa, the big hit, the 2 RBI triple, puts Team USA up 2-1. Another good look at the CN Tower outside the Rogers Center in Toronto. Beautiful night. Venezuela gets USA. I'm Victor Rojas with Joe McGray. Glad you could join us. 2-1 USA. Bottom of the fourth inning. It'll be Maglio Ordonez, Carlos Guillen, Jose Lopez against Roy Oswalt. Ordonez swinging at the first pitch, drills one out to center field. Granderson's got great speed and tracks this one down at the base of the fence. Well struck by Maglio, who is now 0 for 2 and 0 for 5 in the tournament. Granderson can cover some ground out in center field. Shane Victorino actually got the start against Team Canada in yesterday afternoon's contest. Victorino eventually moved over to right. It's a defensive replacement for Dunn. Granderson took over in center. Here's Guillen, who takes inside. Carlos 0 for 1 with a ground ball to second. USA with a couple of runs on 5 hits. Venezuela 1 run on 4 hits. Fouled straight back, 2 balls and a strike. Oswalt, no 3-ball counts as of yet. Through 3 1/3, he has 1 strikeout. of 15 first pitch strikes. 2-1 outside. There's that 3-ball count. We just whammied him. Lost it. First walk issued by Oswalt. Brings up Jose Lopez of the Mariners. Oswalt, a 23rd round selection by the Astros in 1996.
There's a lot of stories about guys really sliding down in the draft, and a lot of times scouts think, well, this guy's not very big. Is he going to be able to make it as a pitcher? Those questions are all answered.
Without question. 3-time All-Star in 05, 06, and 07. National League Championship Series Most Valuable Player in 2005. Lopez takes a strike, and it's 0-2.
Guillen not a threat to run with his knee problems over at first base, but still has those habits of glancing in at the catcher as he's taking his lead, seeing if he can steal some signs.
Lopez had a big game last night against Italy, 3 for 3 with 2 doubles. His very first hit, he was trying to stretch a single into a double and got thrown out. A nice relay from Frank Catalanato out in left field. The Italians were flashing serious defense out there.
Well, they had a pitcher that was working quickly, throwing strike 1, keeping them on their toes, and something that defenders really appreciate.
Didn't get much better though than Mario Chiarini's diving catch out in right center field on a ball that was struck by Bobby Abreu.
Well, you're right, that was memorable.
That and Davide Dell'Ospedale. I got that name down. We need Italy. Lopez lines one into the corner and left. DeRosa playing the carry. Guillen, as you pointed out, doesn't run that well. He's going to be stopped at third. And in at second is Lopez, who is a doubles machine.
A little disappointing for Oswalt on the 0-2 pitch, trying to come up and in. And Lopez able to get his barrel on that one. DeRosa getting out of the corner quickly to keep Guillen at third. Well, this is about the time of the season and the time during the game where a pitcher like Oswalt, around this next pitch going to be 55, starts to have a little fatigue set in. Got a couple of outings early in spring training. Just getting that arm stretched out.
Hernandez 0 for 1 with a ground ball to first. He's got Carlos Guillen at third base, Jose Lopez at second. Boy, nice job by Iannetta.
Boy, that is not an easy pitch to block. A sweeping breaking ball, and when it gets outside your feet like that, he still gets that glove turned over, and that is just from repetition and hard work where that becomes second nature. A lot of times you'll see catchers reach and not shift and try to backhand it. Very low percentage play. Excellent job keeping that one in front.
Jam, but this one will score a run. Rallies with the putout. Hernandez gets the RBI as we're tied at 2.
Oswalt coming inside, trying to get a weak ground ball on the left side in an effort to get the runner at the plate, but went to short and it was effective.
And again, like we saw last night, Team Venezuela coming out of the dugout, totally not afraid to show their emotions. Here's Marco Scudero with a man at third base and 2 outs. Scudero had a single in the third inning, came around to score the first run of the game. Pointed out that Scudero had a fantastic welcoming here at the Dome. A member of the Blue Jays, of course, his native countrymen.
Yeah, they're still welcoming.
Either that or digesting something. For a minute there, I thought I was at Olympic Stadium with the whistles.
I'll never forget those.
In Montreal. There's a strike, 2-1.
When they got away from Oswalt a little bit, it just kind of trickled into the upper reaches of the strike zone. I think that's about as high as it goes. Right across the numbers. That's a great 10 of the breaking pitch, followed by that big-time fastball from Oswalt. Almost got that by Scudero. That was really deep. He was tardy on it.
They're both on the same plane. Plays off this breaking pitch, full count.
That off-speed breaking ball you were talking about earlier. Really dragged the backside, trying to slow himself down, changing speeds on the hook. Watch the backside, just really drags. Another beautiful job by Iannetta. Even covering up the 5-hole.
couple out. Man at third base. He lost it. Team USA with no action in their bullpen, and Oswalt, there is now 64 pitches thrown. Marcel Latchman, the pitching coach, is going to go out there.
Going to have to take some time because Oswalt is, as you mentioned, Victor, getting close to that pitch limit.
Matt Lindstrom of the Florida Marlins, the first man up that's loosening. 70 is the rule, the cutoff. Now he can go beyond 70 to finish off a batter. He is at 64. 7 pitch at bat, 8 pitch at bat. He's got the opportunity to finish off that hit. And he'll face Gregor Blanco, center fielder from the Atlanta Braves. He's 1 for 2 with a single and a fly to left. Pull to the right side, base hit. Lopez scores over to third as Scooter Rowe. Venezuela's back on top 3-2. It's not the big boys either.
No, it's not. I think getting to the point, as I was mentioning, that Oswalt getting a little tired at this point in the year. Davey Johnson wanting Iannetta to go out and talk to Oswalt because he would like to make a change as quickly as possible. Giving Lindstrom a little bit more time in the bullpen.
Could be the first time that perhaps the inning kind of snuck up on him as far as getting somebody loose in the bullpen. And Lindstrom is a closer for the Florida Marlins. Should be pretty accustomed to getting loose in a hurry.
Well, he's throwing breaking balls, so he can't be more than a pitch or two away.
Here comes Davey Johnson, and sure enough, that's going to be it for Roy Oswalt. How about Venezuela answering here in the fourth?
Well, they garnered a lot of momentum in the back half of the game against Italy last night, and it has flowed right into tonight as they are putting at bats together.
So Oswalt departs after 3 2/3. Matt Lindstrom will come on and try to keep it where it's at. Venezuela leads it 3-2. Roy Oswalt out of the game. We're still in the bottom of the fourth inning. Matt Lindstrom has taken over for Team USA, facing Melvin Mora. First ball swinging, skies one foul, and it's 0-1. Two big walks. Sorry, Joe. 2 big walks for Roy Oswalt. Really, both of those guys coming around to score.
Yep, and I was going to say that Lindstrom, if there was any dispute about him being loose, that last pitch at 98.
Good giddy up on his arm. 3-3 last year with the Florida Marlins. 5 saves in 57+ innings. There goes the runner, and that pitch is low. We haven't seen too many of those. Gregor Blanco with a stolen base. He had 13 with the Atlanta Braves last year.
Well, he was getting information about how quick or not quick Lindstrom was to the plate. Picked a breaking ball to run on. Looked to be a pretty decent pitch.
Good swing on that one, straight back, and it's 1-2. Melvin had a ground out in the first inning, an RBI single in the third. Team leader in that category with 4 runs batted in this far. There's a good look at Matt's numbers. Kevin Gregg gone now and traded to the Chicago Cubs. Closed the role to himself. That one through the wickets, but not far enough for anybody to advance.
I think that may have been a bit of a cross up. He was looking for a slider perhaps. And the other thing that's tough for these catchers is learning a whole new pitching staff. And boy, Iannetta fortunate that didn't take his thumb off. That got him on the heel of the glove, maybe the heel of the hand. Still keeping it in front with a runner on third. That could have been costly.
That's that opposite crossing up that we were talking about. Lays off the breaking pitch. The count is full.
It takes some time for a catcher to learn a whole new staff. And a new staff of high-end arms, by the way.
Well, the air is back in the balloon, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Full count on Mora. Chopper to third. Chipper. A little bobble. Strong throw as always. Nice dig by Euclid. And they get Mora for the third out. But Venezuela comes right back. They get a couple of runs on a double, a single, a couple of walks, and they leave 2 on. 4 done. 3-2 Venezuela. Coming up on our next game, it's Korea against Japan. Pool A, 5:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Good matchup right there. Both of those clubs to be advancing. Here at the Rogers Center, Pool C, Venezuela put 2 runs on the board, taking a 3-2 lead, turning the ball over to Victor Zambrano.
Well, this will be an interesting inning as you look at his numbers. The course of his major league career, some time with the Rays, the Mets. Very deliberate worker with a good slider. Luis Sojo thinking it's very important as they have some momentum to have a shutdown inning at the top of the order with Rollins.
Was originally signed by the Yankees in '93. Devil Rays picked him up in '96, and then of course traded with Bartolome Fortunato to the New York Mets for Scott Kazmir and Jose Diaz. Some would say it was a one-sided trade.
Not for Jose Diaz.
Negative. Rollins into the alley in right center field. That's a base hit. Blanco cuts it off. And the speedy shortstop holds it first with a single.
Well, the way this is shaping up, this is, as you look at the at-bat from Rollins, this time Blanco cuts the gap off. Very similar to the last time, or where he led off the game with the double.
Rollins has reached now 4 of his first 5 plate appearances. There's Dustin Pedroia, who's 0 for 2.
Jimmy Rollins, one of the few guys in Team USA's lineup who could turn loose and have run. I could see this shaping up to be a very good offensive inning for Team USA.
Now one upstairs. Zambrano last year pitching in the Colorado Rockies organization. And the Yankees organization in a 2-7 record, a 7.17 ERA. Hard slide at second base by Rollins, but Jose Lopez hangs in there and turns a double play.
pretty routine double play. It's hit firmly on a fast track. Pedroia runs well, and a good aggressive slide by Rollins couldn't get it done. I was saying, Victor, with Chipper Jones coming up, his timing has looked really off. He made a real nice play on Melvin Moore to end the fourth, and sometimes it's a defensive play that can, kind of really spur you on and really get a little bit of confidence and get you back into the game. He has not looked good at the plate.
He really has not. 0 for 2, 0 for 6 overall. Reaches here, bounces one a second. There's a third out. So Victor Zambrano gives up the leadoff single, a double play, and a ground out. Middle of the fifth, 3-2 Venezuela. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of World Baseball Classic Inc. and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. Bottom of the fifth inning, Venezuela leading Team USA 3-2. Matt Lindstrom back out on the bump, facing Bobby Abreu. Lindstrom will have some new help behind him defensively at shortstop. As Jimmy Rollins is no longer in the game. It's the Yankee captain Derek Jeter, just like Davey Johnson did yesterday, but flip-flop. Jeter got the start and Rollins came in.
Well, he really wants to give the starter 3 at-bats, and then the guy following him at least 2. And as you had said, just a reverse of yesterday, Jeter filling in for Rollins. The thing that's kind of interesting about it, you look at Jeter's game yesterday, he had a couple of hits. Rollins had a couple of hits today. They're both swinging the bat well, and it's one thing Davey did not want to do is have a guy have an AB and then pull him out. He wants to give them as many at-bats as possible. And obviously a lot of talented players, but sometimes a bit redundant at certain positions, like short, like third base.
And really it's the one position that it is occurring at, considering you've got Chipper Jones, but Chipper really in a situation as a game like this could be almost the DH every single night. But you don't really have a traditional second baseman, a backup Pedroia, traditional first baseman, a backup Youkilis.
Well, you can make a case for Youkilis playing third. He's played a lot of third base. You have 2 just real high-end players in Jeter and Rollins, and they both have to play, and there really isn't an easy solution.
Dare I say you could slide Derek over to third base?
Well, you could do that. Like I said, you could make the argument for Youkilis could play third along with Chipper Jones and along with David Wright.
Get the feeling it's almost like an all-star game. Right over to Youkilis. 1 away. So Lindstrom has gotten a couple of ground outs. Brings up Miguel Cabrera as we take a look at the starters tonight. Oswalt 3 2/3. Galarraga 4 innings, and at least he's got a chance for a victory.
It's Galarraga with the 4 strikeouts and Roy Oswalt only with 1. The other thing about this point in the season, when you've had a couple of outings, you've gotten a little stretched out, there's a little bounce back factor where you go through a little dead arm stage as well. Mentioned that some pitchers aren't going to really have the snap on their breaking balls based on that. Based on Oswalt throwing 64 pitches, he was, at this point of the year, at the end of the line.
Cabrera with a 1-ball, 1-strike count. He's 0 for 2. And this one with the strikeout and ground out to third.
Talking about his timing being well off, again, well out in front.
292 last year with the Tigers. 37 home runs. That was a career high. A little bit late on the fastball there.
He's got that classic case of what you would call caught in between. Early on the breaking ball, a little tardy on the fastball. The timing is obviously off. You see it even happens to some of the most talented hitters in the game.
Exactly what you were just talking about right there. Now 0 for 7 in the first 2 games is Cabrera. 2 outs for Ordonez.
You can see the swing is Miguel Cabrera smooth, but the timing is well off.
Australia taking an early lead against Mexico, but Mexico down in Mexico City has come right back. They lead it 5-3. Cuba earlier today defeated South Africa. Last time up, Maglio saw the first pitch from Oswald, drove it all the way to the base of the fence in right center field, but tracked down by Granderson. Hit a couple of fly balls to center.
And Victor, has certainly grown comfortable with his hairstyle. That's the Maglio do. There's the Manny do, and they both kind of have that Samson thing going, where the strength is in the locks, and of course in the bat.
I think he could pull that off.
I don't know.
It's very Mitch Williams-like, isn't it? Back in his day.
Mitch led the league in mullets.
And on the infield, Jeter puts it away, and it's a very easy 1-2-3 inning. The ball never left the infield. There's a good look at the history here in Toronto at the Rogers Center. We've played 5. It's 3-2 Venezuela. Good look at the slate of games for tomorrow. Korea and Japan at 5:30 Eastern. Italy will take on Canada right here at the Rogers Center at 6:30 Eastern. Netherlands against Puerto Rico. How about that? That's the winner's bracket there. The Netherlands defeating Dominican Republic, and then South Africa will take on the loser of Mexico and Australia. That is tomorrow at 10 Eastern. I like the Netherlands' chances.
You think so? You're going out on a limb a little bit?
But why not? It would be absolutely fantastic for this tournament for that to occur. Do you not agree?
Well, they have some great leadership in Bert Blyleven.
287 career victories and not in the Hall of Fame.
And that is a shame.
I think the victory yesterday against the Dominican Republic pushes the voters over the hump next year. The job that he did with that pitching staff.
With Sidney Ponson, more importantly.
Sir Sidney to use,
yeah.
Sir. Youkilis, that's about as ugly a swing as you'll ever see Kevin Youkilis take. He'll reach. But man, oh man.
Victor, is his knowledge of the strike zone that good, knowing that there was no way Hernandez was going to be able to catch that? So he swung at it and reached first base. He was running right after that short little wristy swing. And you're right, you don't see him take many swings like that at all.
Strikeout wild pitch. Brings up David Wright, who's 1 for 2 with a single. Wright, the Mets' third baseman last year, 302, 33 home runs, 124 driven home. Mets, of course, moving into a new ballpark, as are the Yankees. Start of the season.
Well, not only with that great offensive season, he amassed a tremendous amount of defensive highlights at third base. One of those guys that is fun to watch.
Gets jammed here, fights one out to right. That falls in front of a grave. Euclid moves to second. So Team USA get the first 2 men on here in the 6th inning. Nobody out. And down by a run for Adam Dunn.
I guess the best compliment you could give David Wright is to say he is just a baseball player. Trademarks one to right. And with that leadoff strikeout of Euclid reaching base, Team USA has a chance to get something going.
Dunn 1 for 2 with a strikeout and a single. He's also scored a run. Zambrano stays outside for ball 1.
We talked about the struggles of Chipper Jones. Adam Dunn has looked very comfortable at the plate.
Dunn replacing Brad Hopp on the original roster. Hopp hurt his hand in the spring training game, getting hit by a pitch. 100 RBI guy. 5 straight 40+ homer seasons for Adam Dunn.
And that'll tell you about the Thunder. There's plenty of it.
Fouled straight back, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, very similar to the pitch that he hit out of the ballpark yesterday. A little fastball tailing away from him. And this time he fouls it back.
Nice job by Hernandez behind the plate. The count goes full. Zambrano looking for that first out of the inning. DeRosa awaiting on deck. There's the 2 men on base. And he lost him. Trying to get him to chase that off-speed pitch. And Zambrano's got him loaded up.
We talked about the power of Adam Dunn. He will strike out a lot, as most power hitters do, but he also is very selective and can draw some walks. Eyeballed a close backdoor breaking ball.
Roberto Espinoza, pitching coach for Venezuela. Out to talk things over with Zambrano. They've got double barrel action going in their bullpen. Joel Hernandez, Carlos Vasquez. That's what we were talking about in the open. They've got the starters and they've got the closer, but it's that bridge, if you will, that Venezuela is going to struggle with.
Really makes this, this inning very crucial, very important with that narrow 1-run lead. Team USA has a big inning here. Obviously, they may not get to K-Rod at all.
It's a nice look inside the Rogers Center. Here's DeRosa, tripled home, 2 runs in the 4th inning. Mark, originally a 7th round pick by the Atlanta Braves. Guy who went to the University of Pennsylvania and was a quarterback then. Takes low, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
And he's talked about how that has really helped him at the major league level as a baseball player. The poise, the leadership, the ability you have to have as a quarterback to just kind of slow the game down and not get overly wrought with emotion or tension in a situation like this.
Howard just missed outside.
Pretty close pitch and a very important pitch count. 1-1. What you do with a 1-1 pitch to get back into the strike zone. Zambrano trying to nibble a little bit, and the advantage really swings into the favor of DeRosa now, because he does not want to go 3-1. He should get a good pitch to hit.
There's a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. DeRosa, one of those guys who really was a true bench player for the Atlanta Braves. He really came into his own as a member of the Rangers organization, where they used him almost on an everyday basis.
Kind of turned himself into an offensive player.
Absolutely. Try to get him to chase. Full count. Chris Iannetta on deck. No place to put DeRosa. There's Youkilis at third base. David Wright at second. Adam Dunn over at first.
Well, the pitcher oftentimes feels a lot of tension with 3-2 count in this situation. And he pulls himself together, steadies his nerves, and he throws that pitch over the plate, and then the hitter fouls it off. And then he has to go through that process all over again with no place to put him.
Another payoff. Lost him. Ball 4, and we're tied at 3. DeRosa with all 3 runs batted in for Team USA. You hate to say it, but this is kind of what we saw yesterday from Jason Grilli and Lenny DiNardo with Team Italy. Not coming in and challenging hitters. So a pitching change here at the Rogers Center. We're in the 6th inning and we're tied at 3. USA looking for more here at the Rogers Center. Both teams at 1-0 coming into this one. Tied at 3, bases loaded. Here's Chris Iannetta to face the new chucker for Venezuela. It is the left-hander Carlos Vasquez of the White Sox organization.
I'll be interested to see if he first ball hits here. Oftentimes it's the best pitch you see. And he had a pretty good pitch to hit.
All 3 base runners, the responsibility of Zambrano. Iannetta takes low. 0 for 1 in this one, getting to start behind the plate. Drew a walk in the 4th inning. There's Zambrano.
That's the one thing you can ill afford to do with a 1-run lead, is to be nibbling and not be attacking the strike zone. Keep in mind, this all started with Kevin Youkilis swinging at a breaking ball well off the plate and reaching first base on a strikeout.
What could have been. Iannetta swings through it. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Iannetta toward the alley in right center field, hit pretty good. Going back is Blanco. This one off the fence. 2 runs in. DeRosa's being waved home, and the play at the plate safe. Bases clear and triple for Chris Iannetta. 6-3 Team USA.
shallow in center field and in right. Abreu in a few steps. Great time for the youngster to come up with that.
Called it a triple. It's a double with him advancing to third. Pick off the third base. Ionetta's back. Still nobody out here for Team USA.
Hernandez thinking Ionetta still basking in the afterglow of that extra base hit.
All four of those runs charged to Zambrano. Granderson fouled a pitch, or did he? Yep. 1 ball, 1 strike. One inning plus 4 batters for Zambrano. That one almost hits Granderson, who's 0 for 2 this evening. Appeal. Minoru Nakamura says he did not go. I like those eye black strips that USA on. I think you should bust out some of those for the next telecast.
Yeah, very patriotic.
Cued foul. The count is full now. A 4-run 6th inning here for Team USA. Put them on top. Speed. There's the first out.
USA has to keep grinding in these at bats. Find a way to get Ionetta in. There's a lot of offense on Team Venezuela.
Luis Sojo going out to the mound. Looks like that's going to be it for Vasquez. Face 2 batters. Gets one of them out. And so another pitching change. The second of the inning. Just one out here in the 6th inning. 6-3 USA. There's a good look at Yoel Hernandez, the right-hander who's on in relief for Venezuela here in the 6th inning. 1 out. 1 on. 6-3. Team USA. Derek Jeter steps to the plate. And there's a good look at the numbers for Venezuela. Or pardon me, for Hernandez. Pitched in Venezuela.
I bet Luis Sojo would like to go to Valenzuela right now in this situation.
Infield is in for Venezuela. Jeter takes low.
Well, he hits in the World Baseball Classic, just as he does anywhere else.
Chasing the off-speed pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike.
So adept at driving the ball the other way. Really stays in the ball, stays inside the ball.
Inside.
2 balls and a strike.
There's that swing that it really is unique to him, where it looks like he just drags the barrel, holds it off, and it just comes through at the last moment.
Outside, 3-1.
Look at Jeter taking the ball the other way in last night's game. Good pitcher's pitch right on the outside corner. Look how quiet that head is. And a great look at it there, just tracking the ball right in. It's those line drives down the right field line that don't slice, that don't fade.
A full count now on Derek. The man he replaced at shortstop, and in this spot in the order, Jimmy Rollins ended the evening going 2 for 3 with a single and a double. And he lost him. Third walk in the inning for Venezuela.
Well, there's so much talent in Team USA's lineup that when you start walking guys and stacking the deck against some real good hitters coming to the plate, that is double trouble.
Now you've got to deal with Dustin Pedroia, the 8th man to bat in the inning. Pedroia 0 for 3. Strikeout and a couple of ground outs. 1 for 8. His first 2 games here at the WBC. The Rating American League Most Valuable Player.
Oh, he has great range at second. He plays very good defense. He can hit the ball out of the ballpark, drive in a run, take the ball the other way. Just a complete player. Just plays with just a great deal of intensity and energy.
Reckless abandon. Or is that more suited for guys that run into the outfield fences?
Well, if he was an outfielder, I think he'd run into his fair share of walls. Ones that he couldn't leap in a single bound.
One, two. Lays off the breaking pitch.
No, he's cocky. He's confident in a good way. Really believes in his own abilities, and as growing up as a little guy, he had to really know that he could play.
Two from Hernandez. Outside, full count.
I've seen these last few pitchers that have been reluctant to throw the ball in the strike zone.
It's a good thing that Luis Sojo used Felix Hernandez in last night's game.
Wishes he could go to him right now.
Been 5 3-ball counts in the 8 hitters in this inning. There's Ryan Braun. He'll be coming on to pinch hit for Chipper Jones, who's had a very tough go of it in the first 2 games. Jeter on the move. He is. Fister foul. Those World Baseball Classic baseballs are really cool.
Well, just as that fan is finding out right now.
How about that? There it goes again. Pedroia down the line. That's a fair ball. Iannetta scores. Jeter was on the move. He's going to score easily. Pedroia in at second with a 2 RBI double. 8-3, Team USA.
Well, this inning has been about extended at bats to where the pitcher has to come in behind in the count, and Pedroia going down and getting a breaking ball. Wasn't going to take any chances about taking it, turning it into an extra base hit. There is some hesitancy by Mike Schmidt over at third. Originally had the hold on Jeter and then gave him the go ahead late.
Still only one out. Here's Ryan Braun, his first at bat of the night. Takes inside.
.6'1" and some densely packed 200 pounds. Very wiry.
California native. First round pick by the Milwaukee Brewers out of the University of Miami. And Rookie of the Year already. Back-to-back All-Star appearances for him. He's made the shift from third base out to left field rather nicely.
I think that's freed him up mentally to where he's going to be, north of 30 home runs year in and year out.
37 last year with 106 driven home. Pedroia taking a huge lead at second base. The loser of this game will take on the winner of Monday's game between Italy and Canada on Tuesday. Chopper towards second base. Braun is put out for the second out. The winner of this game pretty much has got a free pass. Has clinched themselves the opportunity to go to the second round, Pool 2 down in Miami. They will play on Wednesday to determine the pool winner. That would determine the seeding in the next round.
Well, this inning all started with Youkilis' strikeout, where he reached first base.
It's amazing how something as innocent as that can create so much havoc.
Right.
It all fell apart for Victor Zambrano at that point.
Yeah, he continued to pour kerosene on it after that.
He certainly did. Youkilis fouling one back. There's Zambrano. Ivan Blanco. That's what the middle relief corps looks for. Luis Sojo, a bunch of guys that had some minor league time, a lot of winter ball experience in Venezuela, but not a whole lot of big league time. Two balls, two strikes.
Well, Luis Sojo knows if his pitchers throw 53 pitches in an inning, it's not good. And that's how many pitches have been thrown just in this inning.
That one flared foul. Is there a pitch limit for the inning?
Well, there should be right now.
Right?
Uh-huh.
I say we institute that rule next time around.
Pitch is continuing to mount.
Youkilis battling here in this at bat. offense maybe a little zapped from standing out on the turf. Youkilis fouls off another pitch.
This might go on a while. One of these extended play at bats from Youkilis we've seen so many times.
8 pitches thus far. Gregor Blanco out in center, stretching it.
Yeah, their legs are, I'm going to say they were loose from chasing balls into the gap, but they're starting to stiffen up a little bit with this extended at bat.
Outside, and it's a full count. It's like some of these kids just get flat out scared to come anywhere near the strike zone with a fastball. Another fell off. What are we at Fenway?
One would think. Now he's got to do it all over again.
10 pitch at bats so far. Here comes the 11th. The 3-2. And that's hammered to left. Forget about this one. Kevin Youkilis on the 11th pitch of the at bat. 10-3 USA.
Well, there are good at bats and then there are great ones, and he fully extended that one. And obviously receiving the necessary congratulations after that epic at bat.
So yet another pitching change for Venezuela. And again, you go back to last night using those 2 starters. How about a big inning? 8 runs so far. Team USA still not done. They lead it 10-3. It is 10-3 Team USA, still in the 6th inning. So if you went out for dinner and just came back, yes, we're still playing in the 6th inning. 2 outs. David Wright at the plate. An 8-run inning so far. David Wright steps in, takes a strike. 1-1 the count. As you look at Ivan Blanco's numbers, this past winter in Venezuela.
Hard to wrap your arms around this one. The next pitch will be the 64th pitch of this inning.
Mercy. That's downstairs. 3 balls and a strike. Winning the Caribbean World Series as Venezuela did back in February is a little bit different than going out and winning the World Baseball Classic, especially when you got to go through teams like USA. Canada's got a very good offense. David Wright, this one off the end of the bat to Bobby Abreu, and the inning finally comes to an end. The number 4, Team USA sends 11 men to the plate, scoring 8 times. Middle of the 6th, 10-3. Just like that, it is 10-3 USA as Brad Ziegler, the closer for the Oakland Athletics, comes on in place of Matt Lindstrom.
Boy, what a start to his major league career. Opened up his season with 39 consecutive scoreless innings. Some microscopic numbers there for Oakland.
Submariner with a tough look. Houston Street getting hurt during the season. He took over and never relinquished it.
Kind of a Dan Quisenberry type delivery. No reason to do anything but attack the strike zone here.
Matt Lindstrom goes an inning and a third in relief. 4 up, 4 down with a strikeout. A little bit different look when it comes to the bullpens are concerned. Team USA running out closer after closer. Terrific arm, good control versus essentially minor league arms for Venezuela.
Well, you're right. The experience level, a study in contrast against these two teams.
Ziegler out of Southwest Missouri State. 20th round pick by the Philadelphia Phillies in '03. Just missed inside.
Well, one of those guys like submariners that don't throw particularly hard have a great deal of success, whether it be in college or junior college, and they slide down in the draft. They want to see him do it against professional hitters.
Bobby Abreu hits one well to right. This one is long gone. Carlos Guillen, not Bobby Abreu. Guillen's second home run of the tournament. And Venezuela gets one of those back. It's 10-4 USA.
Sinker that didn't sink, right out over the middle of the plate. And a great view of it.
Lopez sneaks one inside the bag into the corner. A double for Jose Lopez, his second of the game, his fourth of the tournament. And this never say die approach, the offense for Venezuela, obviously very, very good.
Sneaking it right inside the line at third. Lopez with a very quick bat. We've seen out of him in these two games, he can get to that pitch inside.
It's almost as if he prefers it inside.
Right.
Here's Ramon Hernandez, the catcher. With Mark DeRosa, the new third baseman, playing back, figures, you know what, why not give it a look. There's DeRosa, moves in from left field, and Ryan Braun takes over out there. The home run is odd off of Ziegler, who just gave up 2 with the Oakland Athletics. Chop foul. 2 home runs allowed in almost 60 innings of work for Ziegler this year.
Pretty good indication of keeping the ball down. Pitch he threw to Guillen was not down.
Mexico leading Australia. That game only in the 3rd inning. Hernandez, a line shot to left. Lopez got a little bit of a late jump. Not sure if DeRosa was going to catch it. Only advances to third. So Ziegler, a home run, a double, a single allowed here in the first 3 batters. And this crowd that was pretty much lifeless after Team USA put 8 runs on the board, all of a sudden it's back into it.
Davey Johnson was hoping to get a little more length out of Ziegler. Well, we mentioned it right off the top about the offense of Venezuela. And you know, you see this happen a lot when you have the pitchers give up a lot of runs in one inning. The pitcher's mindset kind of changes. Ziegler doesn't want to walk anyone, so he's throwing pitches more in the middle of the plate, and the hitters get better pitches to hit. You can see them make a little run as they're on their way to doing that.
Ziegler with runners at first and third base, nobody out, and Marco Scudero stepping up. Scudero takes a strike. Only the bottom of the sixth inning here. 10-4, Team USA. Scudero over to the right side. Pedroia, nice play. Jeter, can he turn it? He does. Run scores, but there are 2 outs. That's a pretty double play turned by Pedroia and Jeter.
Jeter has at times been maligned for his diminishing range, but great footwork coming through the bag. No way to get to him. Jim clear himself from second base. Little sidearm throw gets the runner down.
Top of the order, Gregor Blanco, the center fielder's up. He shows bunt, takes a slider in.
It's looking like whatever Marcel Latchman said to Ziegler was very effective.
Action continuing out in the Team USA bullpen with left-hander John Gravo is up. There's Gravo. Toward the end of exhibition season, if you will, for these teams. There's a lot of changes to the roster for Team USA. With Joe Nathan dropping off, Brian Fuentes, B.J. Ryan. Grable was one of the guys that was added, as was Keith Bell, the closer for the San Diego Padres. Come right back and taking the count full. Ruthless far to his right, so Pedroia's going to have to throw to Ziegler, who was there in time. Nice play by Pedroia and the pitcher Brad Ziegler, but Venezuela scores 2 on 3 hits. 6 in the books. 10-5, Team USA. Good look at the outburst of Team USA in the 6th inning. We're now in the 7th. Good look at the box score as well.
Pretty good performance top to bottom out of Team USA.
Chipper Jones has struggled. He's no longer in the game as Ryan Braun has taken his place. 6, 7, and 8. Dunn, DeRosa, and Iannetta, the scheduled 3 batters. Shot to right field. Are you serious? Second home run for Adam Dunn in this tournament. No doubt about it. 11-5 USA.
Well, we mentioned before he's country strong, and he just hit that one a country mile. His teammates out looking to see where this ball actually landed. I think he knows.
How about the smirk on this face?
Whoever caught this ball, that's no longer around.
What's a Brave doing, even jogging toward the fence?
Wow, just in case he was going to try to rob him.
I think by definition that was just for show. Either that or he wanted to get a closer look at it. Here's DeRosa, 0-2 pitch, down and away.
I think this is one of those shots where the camera actually had to pan a little further down. It was almost right at, or pan further up rather.
Rosa off the end of the bat over to Lopez. That ball has funny hop. Lopez takes care of it for the first out. The big donkey. Washington Nationals first baseman, possible outfielder.
Come on, high up.
I'll tell you what, you start looking at some of the swings that we've seen the first 3 games of this tournament here. That's about as locked in as you're going to get.
Well, you're right, Ian. You know, we mentioned that very early here in this game, that he's swinging the bat about as well as anyone in Team USA's lineup. That was impressive.
11 total hits for USA. They've got 6 extra base hits, 3 doubles, triple, 2 home runs.
That is a typical left-handed hitter's lift.
Netta takes the breaking ball inside. How about the woman behind Adam Dunn? You think she is anticipating where that ball is going to be hit?
Yeah, I think she's looking to the seat that it landed in.
Before it happened.
Right. See a lot of leverage in that swing. 6'6", 275 pounds, and you got every pound behind that one.
That's outside, ball 4.
Might as well take a look at it from the side. You could see how everything met at the exact same time. He's still enjoying it.
As are we. Curtis Granderson 0 for 3. Those struggles continue for Venezuela's relievers. A lot of pitches thrown.
Just seem to be reluctant to throw the ball over the plate. If anything, trying to either hit the corner or have it be off. And of course, all these all-stars and recognizable names in the USA lineup.
Granderson smoking on the right. Might be reluctant too if you saw the big hoss taking you that deep.
Really?
Never happened to you, did it?
No, you know what? Looking back on my career, I was perfect. I never made a mistake.
It's the beauty of reflection, my man.
The older I get, the better I was.
That's right. Another visit to the mound. Action going in the Venezuelan bullpen. It's action that has just now begun, so there won't be a move here. Last 2 1/3 innings for Venezuela. 93 pitches, 9 runs, 7 hits, 4 walks. Dan Isaga, the home plate umpire, breaking up the meeting and the mound as Adam Dunn continues to tell the fishtail. How much bigger is that home run getting by the minute?
I think when he talks to the family, back home, say it's around 500 feet.
Why not? Here's Derek Jeter, leadoff man, shortstop. Drew a walk in his first plate appearance in the 6th inning. Came around to score. Now that we're in the 7th, it's worth noting the 10-run mercy rule if we get to that point. A combination of Derek Jeter and Jimmy Rollins having reached base 7 of 9 at-bats.
Well, Jimmy Rollins and Derek Jeter both would like to see more playing time.
Jeter shooting one out to right field. Abreu's got a track on it. Makes the catch. Moving over to third base is Iannetta.
Well, I was saying the way Davey Johnson has structured it, they both have been swinging a good bat, although they would like more at bats.
There's Davey. Dustin Pedroia steps up now. He's 1 for 4 this evening. Last time up, a double with a couple of runs batted in and a run scored. Pedroia becoming the first second baseman 1959 to win the American League Most Valuable Player Award. The other Nellie Fox.
Well, we were talking in the break as he made that fantastic play.
He goes the opposite way. Bobby Abreu is back and he makes the catch. Team USA gets a run. They do it on the leadoff home run by Adam Dunn. It was a big one. It was a long one. Middle of the 7th. 11-5 USA. Open to 5. There's a look at the starting lineup from Luis Sojo on the box score. Gregor Blanco's done the job at the top of the order, but the bottom part of that order, Guillen, Lopez, Hernandez, and Scudero have been really good against the Team USA pitching. And lineup card's starting to get a little muddled for Luis Sojo. On the mound now is Jonathan Broxton. The Los Angeles Dodgers taking over for Brad Ziegler. He'll face Mora, Abreu, and Cabrera. Here's the numbers on the big man from Augusta, Georgia.
69 innings pitched, 88 strikeouts. He can rush it up there.
We were talking about that yesterday as far as Broxton, Dunn, Heath Bell. There are Matt Thornton, big boys out there. Team USA.
And they have a fair amount of experience as well.
Broxton last year with the Dodgers, 14 saves, 3-5 record, so just saw. 88 strikeouts in those 69 innings. Second round pick by the Dodgers in 2002.
Big burly guy just muscles the ball to the plate.
Getting a piece of that one. Count remains even 2-2. Melvin 1 for 3. RBI single back in the 3rd inning.
Venezuela's fans not giving up. Victor, they're trying to get something going.
One in the dirt. It's a full count. Well, you come all this way from Venezuela. You might as well stick it out. Get some Red Bulls in you, get some energy, and go.
Just have a gifted way of putting things, Victor.
Payoff. Moore over to third. Nice play by DeRozan. One out. Well, last night you said it was like pros when I was talking about. I don't even remember what I was talking about.
Yeah, the Italians.
The Italians. Davide dell'Ospedale.
Right.
Just figured I'd continue that hot streak I was on.
Stay right there.
That in your wheelhouse? Pretty much. Bobby Abreu steps in. He's 1 for 3. Abreu with the single back in the first. 12 hits for Team USA, 9 for Venezuela. Davy Johnson, much like he did in yesterday's game against Canada, running out the relievers 1 inning at a time, doing that again tonight. It was going to be outside the strike zone, but Abreu could not hold up, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, trying to get everyone active early, get them a little bit of experience. And we mentioned that from Jake Beebe telling J.J. Putz about how this is a unique situation when pitching for your country, and it's something that really takes some getting used to.
Up the box, Jeter can't get it. Abreu's on with a 1-out base hit. And so far, Team USA, as we saw a light ball just sneak under the glove of Jeter. Errorless baseball. Defense has been solid. Broxton just unable to get that one on the backhand side. There's Cabrera, who's 0 for 3. Cabrera and Ordonez now 0 for 13 in their first 2 games.
Said it earlier, Cabrera's timing has looked really off in between the breaking ball and the fastball. Tardy on the fastball there.
There's got to be a way to mindset anyways to at the very least say, all right, I am going to sit dead red. I don't care what I get, but there's no way that I should be that late on a fastball. As good a hitter as he is.
Well, and he's accustomed to swinging himself through these little slides. Tardy on the fastball again. And also for spring training, it's about getting that stroke down, getting the mechanics of it down, and not necessarily used to performing at this time of year in what you would call an adrenaline fueled type game.
Let me ask you something. If you had the opportunity going into the offseason to possibly represent your country, wouldn't it behoove you, as Broxton gets a strikeout, to start your workout program earlier?
Well, especially from a pitcher trying to get stretched out. And hitters you can hit year round.
Right.
You can hit in the batting cage all the time. And again, pretty much a picture representation of every at bat we've seen in this tournament out of Cabrera. Late on the fastball and early on the hook.
3 strikeouts for Team USA pitching, all 3 courtesy of Miguel Cabrera. I only bring that up because in years past you hear old-time players saying, "Oh, we had to work out in the offseason because we didn't know if we had a job the following year." And all we hear nowadays is, wow, it's so advanced that everybody works out 24. But yet all you hear in spring training is, "Oh, I'm just trying to get my timing in and trying to get my work in." Aren't you supposed to be hitting the ground running?
Well, and from a pitching standpoint, you're also you're also wearing that arm down and then giving it the proper rest after stretching it out to bounce back. And the process just starts a lot earlier for these guys that knew, or some of them knew late, that they were going to be on this team. And couple that with the last World Baseball Classic where Team USA got bounced, and not wanting that to happen again.
Two balls and a strike on Ordonez. Maglia, as we just pointed out to you, in the combination between him and Cabrera, who's over.
Well, that's saying a lot, because that really represents, a huge part of their lineup, as talented of right-handed hitters as you're going to see.
Grounded to short. Jeter's got it. Flip to Pedroia. They go the short way for the third out. Nothing doing for Venezuela. We've played 7 in Toronto. 11-5 Team USA. World Baseball Classic action continues tomorrow. Korea against Japan. That is Pool A. It is at 5:30 Eastern Time. Both of those teams advancing on. But the winner of that game wins the pool, and thus the higher seeding in round number 2. Good look at Team USA's bullpen. Getting ready to start the top of the 8th inning. A new pitcher on for Venezuela. Giancarlo Granados comes on in place of Blanco, and there's his numbers in the Mexican leagues last year.
Well, not a good sign looking at those statistics there, Victor. 33 innings and 33 walks. More walks than strikeouts. And that's what we have seen tonight.
He'll be facing Braun, Youkilis, and Wright. We have been told since Braun is deployed, he pinch hit for Chipper Jones in the 6th inning. Jones has left the game because a mild strain right oblique. He is, as we all are, day to day.
Well, and that's something that you have to be very careful with, either pitching or catching, because if you do irritate that to where it's pulled, it's usually a minimum of 6 weeks. Tough injury, that rib cage injury. Something you really didn't used to hear about way back when, and now it's very commonplace.
Back when you guys played, you guys didn't have obliques.
It was just called a side.
Braun in that pinch hitting appearance in the 6th inning, grounded out, so he's 0 for 1. And there's a strike, 3-1. Outside ball 4, so Team USA gets the leadoff man on board. And the running theme continues for Venezuela.
Another walk.
I was doing a little research, and we were talking about Davey Johnson last inning, about the defense and all that stuff. Played for the Baltimore Orioles. He made correct me if I'm wrong, he made the last out. It was the '69 World Series. That was him, right? Fly out to left field. Not to dog him on that, but no, he played second base on a very good infield. Brooks Robinson, Boog Powell, Mark Melange. It's pretty good around the horn there.
That's a real good group of names, and of course Davey had a lot of pop in that second base position.
You have a favorite team growing up? You're in Kentucky, right?
Yeah.
Cardinals.
I like the big red machine.
Big red machine.
Big red machine of the 70s. A lot of great players.
These boys can swing it.
Yes, they could. And we mentioned Davey Johnson could have. He had a 40 home run season with the Braves.
Nicholas fighting one off. Count remains at 1-2. Joel Hanrahan, closer for the Nationals, is loosening now. There's Hanrahan talking to Mel Stottlemyre.
Team USA has some outstanding pitching coaches to work with this staff and tutor them along. Mel Stottlemyre, there he is. Longtime pitching coach of the Yankees and Mets. Actually was Davey Johnson's pitching coach with the Mets when Davey was managing there.
Euclid over to short. Nifty play by Scooter to get the lead runner, but Euclid is safe at first.
And of course, Marcel Latchman, longtime pitching coach with the then California Angels.
And Latch still doing work. He's a special assistant instructor with the Colorado Rockies. I've had the pleasure of working with 3 Latchman brothers. Marcel, Rene with the Florida Marlins, and Bill Latchman was my first manager.
Right? Remember Bill?
You still see Bill with the Angels during spring training. Still got the same old shin guards on.
Right.
Walking around.
Still into it.
Yeah. Not a good effort tonight by the bullpen of Venezuela. That one's hit well at the alley in left center field, a base hit. Ordonez, nice job of cutting it off. Euclid all the way to third. So a couple on, 1 out for Adam Dunn.
Adam Dunn going big fly in the 7th. That seemed just like a few moments ago.
That came leading off that 7th inning. It's the breaking ball down and away. Dunn 2 for 3 in this contest.
I'll tell you, Victor, the Venezuelan bullpen has given up a lot of walks, but the Venezuelan outfield has been doing a lot of running.
Yes, they have 20 United States base runners so far. Venezuela will have, assuming this score holds, tomorrow off before playing again on Tuesday. Boy, a little hanger that Dunn tried to wait on. Swings through it. It's 1-2.
Still eyeballing those close pitches. Has a great power and also has some pretty darn good plate discipline.
The propensity to strike out, but will get on base. You think it becomes too much of a focal point at times? Strikeouts. 40 home runs, 100 RBIs.
I used to remember when you struck out over 100 times a game, and it was or in a season, excuse me, and it was embarrassing. Now, you know, everybody does it. A lot of north of 100 strikeouts a year.
Full count now on this breaking pitch.
The game has become more specialized. That Well, that accounts for that somewhat.
Australia battling back, down 7-6. 3-2. Dunn takes low, and there's a walk, and they're loaded up.
Well, Luis Sojo's going to the bullpen again.
At this point, he's looking for somebody who still has a pulse out in the bullpen. This will be the 6th reliever used by Luis Sojo. Giancarlo Granados didn't get the job done. We're still in the 8th. Bases loaded. When we come back, it'll be Mark DeRosa. Venezuelan crowd still trying to stay behind their team, but their bullpen has made it difficult. They're dancing because there is a pitching change that gives them something else to do than watch the Venezuelan pitchers work. Here's Mark DeRosa, bases loaded, 1 out, 11-5, Team USA. Lays off the breaking ball. 1 ball, no strikes. DeRosa got to start out in left field, now playing at third. Take a look at the numbers for Victor Moreno. DeRosa skying one out to right. Long run for Abreu toward the corner, and he makes the catch. That'll bring home a run. Euclid scores, and it is 12-5 now, Team USA. Now with right in third. Victorino is the man at first base. He's pinch running for Adam Dunn. 4 RBI night for Mark DeRosa.
Come on, Chris.
A lot of smiles. Those guys are having some fun.
Here's Iannetta. Last year pitched in Mexico. Had a total of 9 games under his belt, 6 innings, 4 walks, 7 strikeouts, and an ERA of 15.
He's going to need to whittle that down.
1-2.
Iannetta with a couple of walks. Bases clearing double in the 6th inning. Running off the mound as if he was going to get that call.
Just looking at the numbers coming out of the pen, a lot of high walk totals for these pitchers, and Ramon Hernandez has to know better. He's not going to get that call, especially when he's ripping the glove back into the strike zone, trying to frame it. Won't come as a surprising development here, but the bullpen, not the starters, but the bullpen for Team Venezuela has thrown 126 pitches to this point.
Armando Galarraga got the start, went 4 innings, allowed 2 runs on 5 hits. Iannetta right back up the box, a base hit. 13-5 Team USA. Victorino stops at second. Chris Iannetta himself a 4 RBI night. But the catchers canned yesterday against Canada, 3 runs batted in. Iannetta tops him by 1.
Well, they're making a case for it being an offensive position.
Brings up Curtis Granderson. Moreno has had time in the States pitching in the Phillies, Twins, A's, and Orioles organizations, as well as the Diamondbacks. Granderson 1 for 4. You know, a ball in the alley would score 2 runs.
And for some, maybe most, it'd be a welcomed sight.
Granderson into the corner and right, possibly Abreu cuts it off. 1 run is going to score. Stopping at third is the catcher Iannetta. It is 14-5 Team USA. Terrific play by Bobby Abreu to keep Venezuela in it.
And sometimes he can be reluctant going into the corner, but he wasn't there.
Sometimes you got to worry about the turf.
Right, and he had some difficulty earlier catching a fly ball.
Here's Derek Jeter. Takes a breaking ball low. Jeter a walk and a fly ball to right. Bouncer up the middle, going over his Scudero, and will go to first. Jeter is put out. 3 runs in the inning for Team USA. However, they do it on a 3 hits. Leave a couple on. Middle of the 8th. It is 14-5 USA. Here's a look at tomorrow's games. Korea, Japan at 5:30 Eastern time. Italy and Canada right here at the Rogers Center at 6:30 Eastern. The Netherlands trying to upset Puerto Rico and make it 2-0 in Group D. They're going at 6:30 as well. And then South Africa will take on the loser of Mexico and Australia. That is at 10 Eastern. That's all coming up tomorrow as World Baseball Classic action continues. And Canada is not number 1. They have actually are 0-1. They will take on Italy tomorrow night here in Toronto. Carlos Guillen, the DH, steps in, bottom of the 8th, 14-5 Team USA. Joel Hanrahan, the closer for the Washington Nationals, now on in relief. Jonathan Broxton went 1 inning, struck out a man and gave up a hit. Good look at the numbers for Hanrahan and why the Nationals are excited about this young man. Pedroia's got it. There's the first out. That'll bring up Jose Lopez. And even in a 14-5 game, Luis Sojo keeping his regular 9 starters in the game.
He was able to do that yesterday and keep them hot, although it really, has been more about his bullpen's failures than it has been about his offense. They've still swung it pretty well.
Not too often starters are going back-to-back games this early in spring training, especially back-to-back 9-inning games. How about Australia? They got a game in Mexico City. They've tied it up.
The Netherlands beating the Dominican Republic, the biggest upset so far in the World Baseball Classic.
This guy gets another double. Are you serious?
What a machine.
Jose Lopez, 3 doubles tonight and 5 in the tournament. He's got that swing down.
Boy, just loves the ball on the inner half of the plate. Look at the location here. Kind of tails back towards the middle of the plate. Loves it in there.
Yes, he does. Had a terrific year last year with the Mariners where he hit 297. Here's Max Ramirez. batting for Ramon Hernandez. Here's the Rangers organization. Time in the big leagues last year with the Rangers at 217. It's jammed here, and this one will find its way into the seats. Iannetta wants to talk things over with Hanrahan.
Care to wager what this conversation could be about?
I think his biggest inquiry here would be if room service is open 24 hours, or should I kill the post-game spread?
I'd say that's a pretty good guess.
Did not go around on that breaking pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, that's where the game has changed a bit. You see Team USA with a big lead and a lot of breaking balls still being thrown with a 9-run lead and limited number of outs. Used to just pump fastballs in there and finish the game off.
Ramirez gets the fastball there, but right to Victorino. There's out number 2. And especially considering, as we've talked about already, how early we are still in spring training.
Right.
You know, you'd think guys would rely more on that fastball at this time of year if they're not stretched out.
Tom Seaver used to like to say that you've got to throw that fastball to keep it.
And apparently that's going to be it for Hanrahan. Davey Johnson's making a change. A 14-5 lead in the 8th. A fan in the upper deck looking for Marvin Harrison. He's not here in Toronto, Canada. It's 14-5. Team USA leading Venezuela. Dustin Pedroia, a little chin music. 19 runs, 26 hits in this ball game combined. Popping one up. There's some room here. Max Ramirez can't get it. Oh, it actually hit the cable. It holds up the screen behind the plate. Deflected it. There's a good look at the cable. Pedroia is 1 for 5, a 2 RBI double with a run scored in the 6th. And he gets in and one to straightaway center, but playable for Blanco. 1 away. Good look at Victor Moreno, who came on last inning.
He's another one of those hitters in Team USA's lineup, Victor, that is really fun to watch hit. The bat speed he can create. Be a power force for quite some time.
And not only is he talented on the field, but off the field as well.
Right.
He's a guy that's involved in a designer t-shirt company.
He is the fashion plate.
Yes, he is. He is quoted as having said he's been fortunate to live in 2 fashion forward cities, and Ryan Braun has gone big fly He has. Ryan Braun gives Team USA a 10-run lead. And a little indecision on the part of third base umpire Minoru Nakamura. And that's why we had the hesitation.
I don't know what Melvin Mora is talking about.
I mean, it looked fair from our vantage point, but what do we know? And what do we know?
Did that get a piece of
That was to the left of
the foul pole there? Wow.
Foul netting. And Luis Sojo, where is he? We do have the video replay here. Backhanded by Mora. Dug out by Cabrera. There's out number 2.
The replay available for boundary calls are fair or foul, and certainly looked foul from that vantage point there.
Yeah. David Wright takes a strike. Wright a 3-hit night, 3 for 5, all 3 singles, a couple of runs scored.
So Ryan Braun, a power hitter and a fashion forward designer then, huh?
Absolutely.
Town of Milwaukee, known for its fashion sense.
No, he was talking about California. He grew up in Mission Hills, California, and Miami. And now he's turning Milwaukee.
Well, how can he diss his own hometown of the team that he plays for?
I think because he's only been there for 2 years. I think it's one of those things he's just now branching out the tentacles into the metroplex that is Milwaukee.
Yeah, he's going to take his sartorial splendor into that great town of Milwaukee. There's some Yankees and Red Sox players enjoying some hijinks. Youkilis and Jeter.
Payoff to right upstairs. There's ball 4. So the inning continues here in the 9th. 2 outs and a man on for Shane Victorino. And back on the home run hit by Ryan Braun that made it 15-5. This was the conversation. Oh no, I think it's fair. No, I think it's foul. No, fair. No, foul. No, trust me, it was fair.
And right after that, a game of charades broke out.
The international language of love.
Right.
First at bat of the night for Victorino. Came on as a pinch runner for Adam Dunn. Pops one up on the infield. Moore with the call. The snag. There's the 3rd out. Team USA tacks on a run. We head to the bottom of the 9th. They're up by 10. 15-5. As we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. And Number 99 has taken the field for Team USA. Heath Bell of the San Diego Padres taking over that closer's role, with Trevor Hoffman going to the Milwaukee Brewers. There's a number for Heath Bell last year with the Padres.
Aren't we used to seeing 99 on one of our old colleagues, the old left-hander Mitch Williams?
Right on this mound.
We're not reminding him of that, but it's just the number that reminded us. Oh,
flashbacks.
That's not good.
Flashback to Joe Carter. Touch them all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
Words of the great Tom Cheek, longtime Blue Jay announcer.
There's Tom Cheek's name up on the Ring of Honor. 4,306 consecutive games called by Tom Cheek here in the Blue Jays.
And what a gentleman.
Taking a big hack and actually hit Iannetta. The Aussies. Kangaroo back over Mexico. It's 8-7. Still a lot of game to be played in Mexico City.
As this game will definitely indicate that.
Lining one into the corner, and this is going to go for extras. He's got terrific speed.
Boy, he can't load it.
Ends up at third base, standing up with a triple. There's some pride in not getting beaten by 10 runs, right?
Watch him run the route. He hits the bags with perfect timing. No wide turns, clipping the bases very well.
Here's Melvin Moore. Triple by Blanco, the 12th hit for Venezuela tonight. Mora's 1 for 4 with an RBI single. Nobody is going to get this one a run score since the infield single for Mora and the RBI. So back-to-back hits now for brings it Bobby Abreu, who's 2 for 4 with a couple of singles. New member of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Angels getting themselves a pretty professional hitter. Adding a little protection for Vlad Guerrero.
Because he's getting up there in age.
I think the Venezuelan pitching staff aged a little bit tonight.
Venezuelan pitchers, a total of 214 pitches on the night.
it's a two-bag game, 2 bags of peanuts.
2 bags of peanuts and Pepto, call it a night.
There's still some left in there, Victor.
Abreu out to center field. Granderson tracking it down. 1 out. Here come Cabrera and Ordonez, the lone 2 starters for Venezuela without a hit. Henry Blanco's going through a couple of bags of probably pumpkin seeds over there.
Or sunflower seeds.
Flowers.
It's like the same deal for Cabrera. Early on the breaking stuff. And who would have thought to this point both Cabrera and Ordonez, 2 strongest hitters in their lineup, would be without a hit.
Bell just missing inside. Tomorrow here at the Rogers Center, it'll be Canada taking on Italy, elimination game. We had a fantastic game to open up this World Baseball Classic, Pool C, Canada and USA, as Bell comes inside.
Yeah, a lot of people were talking, saying that it was as lively last night in that USA-Canada game, over 42,000 people here, as it has been since the real glory days of this franchise back in '92 and '93.
Cabrera gets tied up and the count is full. They were pretty good in those days with Cito Gaston at the helm, and Cito is now back in Toronto, taking over last year. Cabrera to short. Jeter, Pedroia, Nicholas, game over. 15-6 the final. Team USA is on its way down to Miami for round number 2. At least they got to play on Wednesday though first. But at 2-0, Venezuela now 1-1. And you've got the 2 teams at 0-1 in Italy and Canada, one of which will be going home tomorrow night.
Yes, sir.
A very long game, not a very well pitched game by Venezuela, especially on the bullpen side, but Armando Galarraga did a terrific job to start. 4 innings for him, 2 runs, actually left with the lead. Oswald had given up 3 runs at 3 2/3, but once again the power of Team USA's bullpen really is what got the job done. 15 runs, 16 hits, a couple of long balls. Adam Dunn got his second of the tournament. Kevin Youkilis, Ryan Brano also going neat. 13 hits for Venezuela. Carlos Guillen was the lone long ball. Tomorrow's games: Korea, Japan, Italy, Canada, Netherlands at Puerto Rico, South Africa against the loser of Mexico against Australia. For our entire crew here in Toronto, I'm Victor Rojas along with Joe McGray. We thank you for tuning in. The final once again, 15-6. Team USA has now taken a 2-0 lead in the first round of Pool C here in the World Baseball Classic. We bid you good night from Toronto.